Stop doing pencil training every day. Unless that's the only thing that you're not very good at. But it's probably not. It's probably just where you think you're losing the customer or losing the gross. Well, I've got news for you. It's everything else before the pencil that ended up resulting in the dud that you just put on the books, or didn't put on the books for that matter. So let's take a step back and let's dive in to what you actually need to be focusing on. So right away, sales process starts with the meet and greet. You're probably not losing the customer there because a lot of people say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Now that's true to an extent, but in car sales, it's pretty much everything in between the meet and greet and the pencil that decides whether or not that customer is taking it home. So then we get to needs analysis. Now the needs analysis, I would say, is one of the most important steps of the process that a lot of people struggle with because they don't actually do it. They let the customer guide them through the process, and then they ultimately show them whatever car the customer says that they want. And they hope to God that it's in their budget, and they also pray that the customer doesn't need to look at any other options because they don't know how to handle those objections. And if they manage to get through all of that and fumble their way through the process and get to the write-up, then they end up giving the car away because they didn't do a good job building value in the vehicle before they got to the write-up. And now you're stuck with a Mini, but ultimately it was preventable, right? So obviously needs analysis, pretty important step of the process. Select from stock, arguably the most important step of the process, but that depends on a good needs analysis. The reason I say that is because if you select the wrong car, you're probably not selling them a car today. Unless you're God's gift to sales, in which case you could sell them the wrong car, and that might even get you another car deal, but that puts you in a lot of hot water that doesn't necessarily get you good referrals. And then after that, the most important step of the process, in my opinion, is the walk around, because the walk around is where you actually sell the car. You're gonna need to use all the information that you got on your needs analysis, and you're gonna need to make sure that you did a good select from stock, but then we are going to actually implement everything that we put together on that needs analysis, on that fact-finding mission that we went on, and we are gonna show them and demonstrate to them why this car is the car for them. Killing a walk around, doing $1 million walk around for your customer will sell you more cars. And if anything, that's where I'd say most people lack, because I see all the time, they don't even give a walk around. Sometimes you'll ask them a few questions for a needs analysis, and then you'll select a random car, and then you just let the customer hop in the driver's seat, and you take it for a spin. That doesn't sell the car. There is too much for you to be able to talk about when the customer is distracted and driving. We want to get all of the information out in the open that is important to them before they're ever behind the wheel of the car. If you give a $1 million walk around, you are going to make so much more money than being the salesperson that just hops in and goes. And then lastly, while not as important as the walk around, you have to actually ask for the customer's business. After you do that test drive and you're getting back from the test drive, you need to ask them to buy it. It's something like 2/3 of salespeople don't ever actually ask the customer for their business. And at the end of the day, if you absolutely crush with this customer, maybe they'll ask you if they can buy it. But I promise you'll sell more items if you actually ask people to buy them. You will sell more cars if you actually ask the customer for the business. So make sure that when you're getting back from the test drive, ideally before you get to the lot, you hit them with a good trial close. Hey, Mr. Customer, sounds like this checks all the boxes for you. That being said, when we get back to the dealership, I'd love to put everything together and show you what it looks like to take this home today. How's that sound? Anything along those lines. And then when you actually get back to the lot, you need to hit them with a firm trial close to not leave anything to doubt. Hey, Mr. Customer, real quick, I just want to make sure, if all numbers are agreeable today, is this the vehicle you're going to be taking home today? Hey, Mr. Customer, I just want to make sure, if we put everything together and all the numbers make sense, is this the car you're going to be driving home today? We're going to hit them with that firm trial close so that we know whether or not we have a car deal. And if you do all of that properly, the pencil is such a breeze, but it's the one thing that everybody wants to practice on because they want to envision themselves as a closer. Oh, I'm a closer. Oh, I'm going to close that guy. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to close that guy. You should have closed them on the lot. You should have done a good trial close. You should have built value in the vehicle. You should have done a good needs analysis, a good select from stock, $1 million walk around, and a solid trial close. And then you don't even have to close them because it's already a done deal. You already lined it out. If you do a good trial close, they'll let you know on the lot what's going to stop them from buying it. They'll say, absolutely, Mr. Salesperson, I would love to take it home as long as all the numbers make sense. That being said, you better give me at least 20 grand for my trade. Well, it sounds like we need to give them 20 grand for their trade to have a car deal today. And we can start addressing that at that time. Hey, absolutely, I'd love to take it home today. That being said, I still have to talk to my wife. Oh, wow, probably should have gotten that out in the open during the needs analysis and shown the spouse during the test drive. Hey, absolutely, I'd love to take it home today. But I don't know if I can buy a red car. Get everything out in the open, on the lot, when you do a trial close, and do a firm trial close, and you can overcome all of the objections right then and there, aside from payment. Maybe price, maybe trade. But if you do a good job and you have the right word tracks, you can navigate that stuff. You can get around it. Hey, Mr. Customer, we're actually going to give you fair market value for your trade, maybe even a little bit more. I don't know. We get crazy sometimes. That being said, I would never give you any less than it's worth. And I would love to show you all of the data that supports that when the time comes. Or if you're a KBB buying center, hey, Mr. Customer, we actually utilize the Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer as part of all of our trade appraisals. I would love to do an instant cash offer with you right here so that you can see what Kelley Blue Book would buy your car for, and then we'll show you what we would buy your car for. Usually the numbers are pretty close. We're very transparent here. If it's price, hey, Mr. Customer, absolutely, I understand that you would never want to take a vehicle home if you didn't feel like you were getting a great deal. Let's go inside and I'll show you all the data that supports the fact that this is a great deal. There's so many ways to get around it, but doing pencil training is not the answer, especially because the pencil's the one step of the process where you have all of the support in the world. You have your sales manager and your finance managers, you got senior salespeople, and the customer's at your desk. You have full control in this situation. So don't worry about the pencil. It is important to practice a little bit, yeah, but I see too many salespeople that if you sit down and you ask them what they need to work on, they'll just say they want to do some pencil training. They need to work on pencils. They need to work on closing. I'm going to close this guy. I just feel like I've been struggling to close people when I get to the write-up. Well, that means you did everything else wrong. You can't expect to fumble your way through the process and then just be a master closer and make all of your blunders go away when you get numbers in front of the customer. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, yes, but I promise you're never getting to the finish line if you don't do every other step to the best of your ability. And if your best of your ability isn't very good, well, we should probably work on that. So let's dive in. Let's do a little bit of training. Thanks, guys.